So connecting with students is really important to what you're doing as a volunteer. In fact, we want to be sure that you're contacting them, that they know that you care, that they know you want to be part of their world. And one of the great devices we have for connecting with students right now, of course, is the internet, with instant messaging or with Facebook or with social media. There's all sorts of ways you can be involved in kids' lives. The reality is, though, all of those also provide opportunities to be misinterpreted in your contacting. We want to be sure as volunteers that you are not going to be confusing or misinterpreted to the young people that you really want to connect with genuinely. Here are some guidelines that we'd like to ask you to follow. When you're contacting students through any sort of internet or texting, anything that is not face-to-face, the most important thing is to keep your message brief and limit it as much as possible to information that you need to deliver. Hey, looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 7 o'clock when we all meet at the drop-in center. Or the volleyball tournament has been moved to Thursday. When you're simply passing on information, there's far less chance that you're going to be misinterpreted on the internet. A simple hi and a short message is your best bet. Refrain from using any messages of love. These messages can also be cut and pasted into other texts. There can be pieces of the message deleted, and it can cause a message to be compromised and to look like something more than it is. So messages of love that say, hey man, I just want you to know I really, really love you, that's not what you need to be doing when you're communicating through the internet or through texting. Number 3, realize that some students check their messages regularly all the time. Some students just don't. And so don't depend on forms of social networking or texting or whatever to communicate messages that need to get passed on to young people. Number 4, do not add students to mailing lists without their permission. Number 5, do not pass on your personal information. Allow a student to have a point of contact with you, but don't make all of your information public to everyone. Number 6, email cards and texts at an occasion like a birthday or something like that. That's a great way to connect. Be sure though that your words are based on encouragement and your words are based on God-honoring principles. Rather than rambling on with your own ideas, make it short and make it concise. Keep in mind that conversations on the internet can be recorded, saved later, cut and pasted, and moved around. And that's why we're asking you to use the shortest amount of words possible when you're communicating with kids through all of these different venues. One last thing. On the telephone, a well-timed volunteer call can really mean a lot to a young person. And so recognize that that's a great tool, but also recognize that the young person is not a standalone in their life. They have their parents around them. And those parents want to be sure they know what's going on in young people's lives. So if you are going to be connecting to a young person outside of an organized activity, take the time to introduce yourself to their parents first. Through a telephone call home, or perhaps when you're driving them home through a stop-in at their house, whatever means possible, go in and introduce yourself to the parent. Let them know that my name is blank and I'm a youth worker with blank. Over the next year, I've committed to helping out at such and such a program or activity, and so I'm going to be contacting your young person now and again. Are you all right with that? That's a great script for connecting with parents. It's clear, it's concise, and it allows them to be part of the communication that will be happening between you and the young person. Keep in mind that due to the world that we live in, the kinds of things that get misinterpreted and the kinds of things that get misread can be very, very innocent in their intention. So you've got to do everything you can to be sure that you're above board and clear, so kids can know you really do care, with no ulterior motives and nothing that's confusing. Follow those guidelines and that should help.